The international community is worried. Mr. President, be worried. Your advisors are not telling you the truth. If we are not careful, and if this denying president does not wake up to the reality, we are likely to see the famine, the hunger of the magnitude of what we saw in Ethiopia, 83 or 85. This is serious.
Time will come when we will get this government out, Mr. Usman Yusuf. But before we get into that particular video, like he really said a lot of things here, let's look at some of the trending news. My people, this one na international embarrassment. Now, so Tinubu, they waka from one country to another. They embarrass Nigeria and Nigerians. Look at this. You lied. There is no plan to create special visas for skilled Nigerians. Japan replies Tinubu's government. Can you just imagine? Can you just imagine? These people have been feeding on propaganda. This Tinubu government is nothing but propaganda government. Like, these people can lie for Africa. They have been deceiving Nigerians. And right now they thought that Japan is Nigeria. Let's look at some of the reaction, what Nigerians are saying. This person said, why Nigerians are drowning in hunger, insecurity, and bad governance. Our president is busy flying around the world, selling lies that collapse within days. Recently, his government claimed Japan would create special visa for skilled Nigerians. But Japan immediately replied, you lied, there is no such plan. A national disgrace. And let's face it, Japan is a no-nonsense country, a nation with almost zero tolerance for corruption. You can't lie to them the way you lie to Nigerians. They will call you out instantly. Besides, which reasonable president allows his most skilled citizen to be taken away by foreign nations instead of developing them at home to generate wealth for the country and themselves? This government is not building Nigeria. It is sinking it deeper every day. Nigeria deserves truth. Nigeria deserves real leadership, not propaganda. This person said, very dubious government of propaganda, lies, corruption, and tribalism. It is a show of shame that all Tinubu can boast of from his trip to Japan was how to push more Nigerians out of the country in a deceptive manner. There is only one other country that does this, and they are struggling to this day. But it's horrible for Nigerians. Not only that, look at another lie Tinubu told Brazilian president. Tinubu said, no more corruption in Nigeria. Reforms are blossoming. Oh my God. My people, this is really, really terrible. Like, it's like Tinubu is taking Nigerians for granted. Or maybe he thought that the world do not know what is happening in Nigeria. This is really, really disgraceful. Anyway, my people, let me allow you guys to watch this particular interview from Professor Usman Yusuf about this Tinubu propaganda government as well as insecurity, especially in the north. But there's some certain things here he said that I don't quite agree with him, honestly, when he said that it is only dialogue that are going to stop insecurity. Like, how long are we going to continue dialoguing with bandits and terrorists? I believe that a terrorist is supposed to be treated like terrorists, and as well as bandits supposed to be treated like bandits. It is high time we stop petting these killers, honestly. Anyway, take a listen.
Will come and say, Mr. President, things are not well. There is hunger in the land. And if he's not listening to that, hello, international communities are raising their voices. Medicine Sans Frontier has been screaming this for a long time. They said they are seeing 200% increase in the number of patients they admit, predominantly children with malnutrition, predominantly in the north. They are having to treat them with their mothers on the floor. And there's a report recently published by the Daily Trust that in Kebbi State, Medicine Sans Frontier reported that Medicine Sans Frontier is admitting 400 children every day, severely malnourished children in their feeding center. That is 2,800 weekly. And in Katsina, that same day that your paper published that in Katsina, the first 6 months of the year, Medicine Sans Frontier reported 652 fatality deaths of children from severe malnutrition. And then your paper again reported a Nigerian Red Cross report that said 5.4 million children in the 9 security challenge states in the north are facing severe malnutrition. And the states are Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kano, Benue, what is the name? Niger, that place where the governors say they don't have challenges. And the north is 3 states of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. Mr. President, who is telling you the truth? If your government or your media minders get nervous and come out with weak rebuttals each time they hear the truth, Mr. President, they are not telling you the truth. The truth is that all is not well. I have been screaming this. There is hunger in the land. I came with that billboard all across. The Vatican recently lent its voice to this, that there is hunger in the land. And the American embassy here in Abuja also brought out a report recently chastising governors that they're not doing the right thing. They're spending most of their money on useless things instead of taking care of their people. The international community is worried. Mr. President, be worried. Your advisors are not telling you the truth, but there is hunger in the land. We see that in hospital. Every waking day of our lives, we see children in hospital. You don't even need to go to hospital. I'm sure, Abdullah, people call you from home. All people are asking for now is money to eat.
Right. And how much of this, Prof, is a pre-existing challenge that may or may not be multiplying under the watch of the Tinubu administration?
No, this is sudden. That is why I said, Mr. President, your economic policy has inflicted sudden and cruel hunger on the land. In a country that is not officially at war, in a country that we are not experiencing drought, we are seeing this much hunger. And in pediatrics, we say the child is the barometer of the family. When you start seeing hunger, you start seeing it in children and then the women. This is what happened in Ethiopia in 1983-85. If we are not careful, and I raise the alarm, if we are not careful, and if this denying president does not wake up to the reality, we are likely to see the famine, the hunger of the magnitude of what we saw in Ethiopia 83-85. This is serious.
You think that's where we're headed?
We are seriously heading there if this government is continuing to deny itself, and these governors are continuing to dance Omologo everywhere instead of being serious. There is hunger in the land. We go home. We see people that go to any feeding center. I recommend all Nigerians to visit any feeding center of Medicine Sans Frontier or go to the pediatric ward of their children's hospital all across this country. And it's not only in the north. It's all over the country. Inflicted by the economic policies of this government. A government that is in denial.
I mean, some would say, Prof, even before the Tinubu administration came, we're dealing with over 70% of Nigerians living in multidimensional poverty, 130-something million people. That hasn't changed much under the Tinubu administration. So isn't it a question of, this challenge being unsurmountable, so to say?
No, that hasn't changed much. Where are you getting the statistics? Where are you getting the statistics? Don't listen to this government that what they do essentially is massage the data. I mean, the reality, the data is stark reality. Everybody is seeing it. You don't have to be a scientist or a doctor in hospital to see hunger. Everybody is seeing it. And you're giving us bogus numbers. Where are they getting this from? Mr. President, there is hunger in the land. There is trouble ahead. And hunger is continuing. And if your government is in denial, we're going to be in serious trouble. This measly palliatives that your government is doing is not going to solve the problem. It's not. And I heard the story that, they are flooding the market, the Dangotes, the Bua, they are crashing the price. Hello, people do not have money to buy. Go to the markets now. It's not that there is no food in the market, but the buying power of our people has been bastardized by the economic policy of this government. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you need to hear the truth. You need to face the reality that our people are in serious trouble. Your advisors are not telling you the truth. If they are telling you all is well, all is not well. There is hunger in the land. We see it in hospital. We see it in our relatives. We see it when we go home. We hear from everybody. And international communities are screaming and telling you the truth.
And Prof, some would say that both sides of the conversation are guilty of one of two things. Either an exaggeration of the problem or the challenge at hand, or an oversimplification of what it would take to address it. The government would say, listen, we just allocated another set of resources to address the vulnerable groups. Some 5 million people have been added to the social security program of the administration. Why, in your view, is that not enough to symbolize the commitment of the government towards addressing this problem?
Abdullahi, I have no reason, none whatsoever, to come here and lie. These are our people. These are our people. We see realities. Mr. President, if they're not telling you the truth, listen to me. I am telling you the truth. There's hunger in the land. Whatever they're telling you is not true. And your government is not doing anything at all to address this tragedy that is befalling our people in a country of plenty. You say you give governors, you give, oh, I had one of the ministers say, oh, they have given 419 billion. Conditional cash transfer. Hello, shouldn't that number make you chuckle? 419? Who did you give it to? Did we not go through that? The Beta Edu Ministry of, I don't know what that ministry was. Oh, they've given this cash transfer. Wake up and you give governors, all these governors, the money. Yeah, admittedly, Mr. President, everybody will commend you. After removal of subsidy, you have enough excess that you keep some in your pocket, you throw some at the governors. The governors have seen now a lot more money than, but there is nothing to show on the ground. They are doing nothing. All they are doing is running around the world, building bridges, buying houses all over the world when our people are dying of hunger. This is the reality, Mr. President. If nobody is telling you that the reality, will continue to raise our voices, to awaken the conscience and prick the conscience of our people and the world. This is the reality.
And how would you situate it? You talk about the governors and their inability to be a part of the solution. How much of the responsibility do you think lies with the federal government? How much of it lies with the subnationals?
Even during Buhari, I said over 80% of our problems in Nigeria, all across geopolitical zones, are the governors. It is not the central government that will provide employment locally to people. It is the governors that have stifled the local governments all this time, all these years. It is not the presidency that will build schools or hospitals. You go to our schools and hospitals all across this country, you see that. Where are they taking all this money to? We don't see any meaningful development. The president, yes, has tried to make sure that local governments are liberated from the shackles of the governors. But how much liberation do we get? The governors still hold on to their funds. We don't see anything. We go home. We are not just here sitting in Abuja. We go home, we see the sufferings of our people. And the governors, they get a lot more money. And we see them with glistening SUVs all over the place, going on private jets, dancing on a logo, as if all is well.
And let's talk about security, because for the most part, it is the bane of the current challenge that we're dealing with here. You're from Katsina State, and the Malnutrition massacre, killings over the last couple of weeks, and to a large extent, what's been happening in Katsina State has signposted the growing dangers of this security threat. That on one hand, you hear the government saying, listen, we're making a lot of inroads. The NSA has, at several times, addressed the public saying that, listen, we have this huge success story about what we're doing. Why do you disagree with the government's narrative about what is happening, given the events of the past couple of weeks?
Right. So let the NSA, or whoever is advising the president, go to Malnutrition or go to Katsina and tell them security. And tell them security. If this is what they are feeding the president, then we are more serious trouble than I thought. They're not telling him the truth. Katsina, as we speak today, Borno State is safer and more secure than Katsina. 24 out of our 34 local governments, that is 70% of Katsina, is under siege by bandits. And you're coming here in Abuja and telling us all is well, or telling the president all is well? The office of the NSA is not supposed to be making noise. It's an office that is not a noise-making office, not a political office. You are there to advise president on what is right or wrong and tell the president the truth. Not singing, not telling, oh, we kill this, or rah, singing for you. That's not the job of the NSA. That's for crass politicians. Let them go and do that. Security is not a joke. And with security and with the economy, you cannot lie. There's no propaganda that will tell people they're not hungry. There's no propaganda that will tell people that security is better. So,
you think it's all propaganda?
Pure, irritating propaganda. Go to Katsina and tell us security is better. Go to Zamfara and tell us security is better. You cannot take an early victory lap when you're doing this work. These guys, these child soldiers have a way of humbling the most decorated general. You keep your mouth shut and do your work. Not just telling, oh, 98%. Where are you getting that data from? Go to Katsina, go to Malnutrition and tell them all is well. We have a local government that the police that are there have 30 rifles, all of them non-serviceable. How do you expect security to be better? And we're here talking big grammar. This is Abuja talk that has no connection whatsoever with the realities of our people. And I said in the paper I wrote, Mr. President, all the handlers of your security spewing out this propaganda do nothing but make you very unpopular in the north. Because the reality is contrary to what they are spewing. For goodness sake.
You don't believe there's an atom of truth when they say, listen, we've taken out a significant part of the leadership of the bandits. We're pushed back and on so many fronts. Yes, it's an ongoing challenge, it's an ongoing battle, but we're making inroads. You don't think there's any truth in any of that? You
will hear no NSA. You've never had any NSA coming up. So, oh, they're singing for him, rah, rah, rah. Oh, this Kachala is there. We've killed this, we've killed this, we've killed this. How has that translated into security for our people? How?
You think he's become a political...
Yeah, this is irritating politics, and I honestly don't want to talk about him or the office. All I'm saying globally, Mr. President, your security advisors are not telling you the truth of what is happening with our people. If you kill 1,000,001 Kachallas, how has that translated into security for our people? Do it quietly. We've never had an NSA where a praise singer is singing for him. Oh, with Kachala this, we killed him, and we know this irritates the bad boys in the forest. And make them continue to do this nonsense.
I mean, some people would say the recent developments with the arrest of some of the bandit insurgent leaders that have been repatriated back. I mean, the son of the leader of the Boko Haram movement has also been detained or arrested. I mean, some would say that is something commendable. Look, wouldn't you agree?
Abdullahi, as security, you do things quietly. Yes, you have arrested the top leaders of Ansaru. Do it quietly. Publicity itself, that's a huge...
Isn't that a morale booster for Nigerians, for the uniformed men to know that their work is paying off?
Yeah. Anyway, so I have been through this security nonsense. We gave 6 months of our lives into rescuing those passengers abducted by this terrorist. It wasn't Ansaru, it was Dar es Salaam. They were the ones that busted the Kuje prison. The Dar es Salaam guys. I've gotten to know their psyche. We've collected treasure trove of intelligence that we handed over to government. We gave 6 months of our lives into this. So I know a thing or two about these bad boys in the forest. And publicity, they watch it. Publicity makes them think we are. So these are things you don't publicize. Abdullah, we have very serious issues in this country.
Right.
And publicity for political gains does nothing whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever to the security of this country. You want to do it for your publicity, for your politics, go do it. But we need to see or hear the president being told the truth. He has not been told the truth. If what we see in public is what the president has been told, that all is well, we've decimated 91, 98%, the Air Force has killed 101. Let's see that translated in security and do things quietly. Let your work show.
Right. In your home state, Katsina, this idea of negotiating with bandits is slowly but surely taking hold. 4 local governments, Safana is the latest one to adopt this approach, where locally they decide to, sign a truce with these, non-state actors. Do you think that is a way to go?
Right. I've always said, I've been here 1,000,001 times, that this banditry you're seeing is not a military problem, it's a social problem. There is a definite role for the military, but there's not going to be a military solution to banditry. And we're not going to win this war on the battlefield. And I've consistently said it, that all the problems are local. Solutions must be found locally. That's why you hear the Safana people. Yesterday we had a meeting here. It's Katsina Security Community Initiative, convened by Dr. Bashir Kurfi. Dr. Bashir Kurfi is an academic at ABU Zaria. His hometown of Kurfi has been bedeviled by insecurity. He left, he went back home and settled in his town and organized in the community to bring peace. We met with local government chairman yesterday here in Abuja, with Katsina indigents in Abuja. Local governments that are in the front line, from Sabua to Safana to Batsari to Bakori, we had each one of them, and it was enlightening. All of them have their local problems, and they're addressing the problems locally. And that is how it should be. The state and the federal government should come and help them. But I was really, really very, very impressed to hear what they've been doing locally and how they have brought peace in their land. And the people that are here on the radio or TV saying, oh, negotiation, no negotiation, no negotiation, they're just here in town.
Isn't negotiation, Prof, to lean into what some of the critics of negotiating with bandits are saying, isn't that a slap on the wrist? And wouldn't that be tantamount to, insulting the memory of those who have lost their loved ones?
Good. So slap on whose wrist?
On the bandits' wrist, if they get amnesty on such a platter.
Man, nobody's asking for amnesty. Remember, I've been through this. 5 years ago, 2021, during President Muhammadu Buhari, we went to the forest with Sheikh Gumi and his delegates. We went into 9 frontline states in the forest. We met all of these bad guys. Some of them have been killed by this Rambo team, and some of them are quiet now. We've been to places, as far away as Kogi, close to the border of Kwara State, close to the border of Benin Republic. Then it was quiet. Now Kwara State, 4 of the local governments there are. So you don't want to sit down and talk. The United States, after so many years of fighting in Afghanistan, they were talking to the Taliban, didn't they? As we speak today, Israel is bombing Gaza, but they are talking with Hamas. You talk with people to bring peace. These are our people. The Fulanis there, they are not foreign Fulanis like people have been saying. The houses there, or the thieves in Benue, they are local people. If people do not come and settle this problem, it's not the responsibility of the military to sort this out. The military is essentially been thrown in the midst of literally civil war between the Fulanis and the locals. Who are they going to kill when they get there? The role of the military is to provide an enabling environment for peace to happen. It's not the role of the military to sit down and say, oh guys, do this. What is the military going to do if it goes to Bangu and people are killing themselves? Kill everybody? We are getting it wrong. We don't even understand the local issues. The governors, the local government chairman must understand the local issues that are exacerbating all of this. If they need the military or the police to come in. But, and I said it, consistently the government, the military and intelligence services have been in denial of the fuels, the catalysts of insecurity. What are the catalysts of insecurity? Poverty, illiteracy, hunger. And then you are now talking drugs. You are not talking guns being very easy to buy. And you expect there's going to be peace. There is no country in this world that will have peace. If you have hunger, if you have excruciating poverty, children do not go to school, and you have bad governance and corruption. Go to the United States, Europe, or go to any of these affluent countries in the Middle East. Food is very cheap because they know the national security implications of hunger. But here, our government do not know the national security of implications of hunger. There is no military, there is no police force that can quell the anger of a hungry people. Our people are hungry. Instead of buying food, instead of taking care of these social issues, we are spending trillions buying Tucano, buying jets, throwing bombs on hungry people. We are not addressing social problems. We are continuing to, if you ask me if I'm the president, I will demilitarize this war on banditry. I will demilitarize it and bring everybody in.
Wouldn't that send the wrong signal?
No, to whom?
To those who are actually bent on destabilizing Nigeria.
Who are destabilizing Nigeria? Nigeria is already destabilized. We need to find a way to calm down. The military is not trained to fight this internal conflict. What the military essentially is doing now is police work. When we were young in school, in the university, that was a military regime. You don't see the military. When there's trouble, it is the mobile police that come in. When the mobile police come into town, bad guys know the sheriff is in town. The military doesn't get called. But now we are in a civilian government. The military is all over this country, all 36 states, and the FCT.
Are you subscribing to the idea of the former Chief of Army Staff who says, listen, we need a state of emergency to get ahead in terms of addressing this problem? Do you think this is what we need?
Let me talk to you about this very senior military generals that I saw. General Buratai, decorated general. A general that has fought, we all know, was in Sambisa Forest during Buhari. Buhari asked them to move there. They moved there, and they made a substantial difference in Boko Haram there. Nobody can contest his listing as a general and as a leader of fighting men. Our current CDS, General C.G. Musa, was in the theater in the Northeast too, before he was elevated to head the Nigerian Armed Forces, to be the CDS. The other day I saw his interview too. He was saying, he was advocating for fencing, building a fence across the borders of Nigeria, number one. Number two, I saw him on Sheun the other day. He was saying, hello guys, literally, protect yourselves. Find a way to protect your communities. So how do you expect us to go to bed and sleep? If the highest ranking military officer we've entrusted with protecting us is telling you guys, go protect yourselves.
But he's not admitting that they can't do it. They're saying, listen, this is an option, right? Look, and it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
No, it is a brainer. There are things, if I say, there are things you can't say. There are things somebody else can say. That level of leadership, you open your mouth and say that, it's not reassuring. If anything, it's scary. I have a friend in the United States, Steve from Washington, D.C., called me and asked me, he saw this clip of the CDS. He said, who is he? I say, he's the Chairman John Chief. In America, that is the title, five-star general. Chairman John Chief. And he said, he's saying this, saying, dude, get out of town. The guy is telling you you're on your own. He's not only talking to us, the world is watching. So top leadership need to be very, very circumspect and careful with what they say. I like General C.G. Musa, who's a decent general. He's from Kaduna State, a frontline state. General Burata is from Maiduguri, from Borno State. They all know the pain of going through this. I'll tell you, I have very senior military officers. My classmates in the military were close 21. They've retired. And then they tell me there is nothing that hurts them more. They put in 35 years of military service, serving this country. Many have fought in Liberia or all over the world. They've retired. Now they can't go back home. And they look back and say, is this what General T.Y. Danjuma, what hasn't he done for this country? We are in this mess. We can't even allow our leaders to sleep well in their ancestral home during their retirement. This is the way this country is today. We must be honest with ourselves that things are not going well. How can we? We've been fighting this war on banditry for how many years now? 12 years? This is where we are. Shouldn't we do anything differently? The late Chief of Army Staff said it. The troops are getting exhausted. Many are developing PTSD and resorting to drugs. They're human beings. Many from depot training in Zaria, they're shipped to war front. Many do not even know the life of a barrack. So the reason I'm saying this is that the senior military officers, what they are saying, is a sign of frustration. It truly is. They're all frustrated with the way things are going, with the way the security, you do this. And if you know, there's just no way the military can cover the whole of this country. How many do we have? How many do we have? Things are well today here. In Ukige is different. In Taraba is this. In Jalingo is this. In Katsina is this. They're all over. How many soldiers do we have? They're essentially doing this work.
And Prof, considering the scale of the problem, do you think there's an easy way out of this? There's a simple way out of this that the Nigerians can realistically expect from this administration?
You never hear me talk about IPOB issues, Boko Haram, or any other issues, because I know not those conflicts. I've invested 6 years of my life, 7 years of my life, going into forests with Sheikh Gumi and still continuing to do that to understand. Because in medicine, if you do not have a diagnosis, you cannot write a prescription. This I understand, I can talk about, and I've said it consistently. If I am the commander-in-chief, I will demilitarize this fight. There is a definite role for the military. I saw it live. We went into the forest, the military was back up there and up in the sky, protecting us, and the bad guys know that we have the military. We must sit down and make peace. And
through strength or by capitulating?
Well, you've done 12 years of strength. Where has that gotten us? You tell me, you've done 12 years of strength. Where has that gotten us? When President Muhammadu Buhari came, he said, oh, don't go into the forest. We don't want to do this. His NSA said, we don't want to negotiate. We sat down and said, we'll go keep fighting. This is where it's gotten us. The new governors of Katsina State and Zamfara, when they came, they said, oh, we are going to fight. We are going to fight. We are going to continue fighting. And the military, I'm sure, is watching them. We've been doing this for 10, 12 years. We are where we are. You think your ragtag vigilante will fix this? Let's face the honest reality. There's a definite role for the military. We're not going to win this on the battlefield. We must sit down, each community, and find peace. We must involve. And it's the biggest mistake we've done. How can you ever have peace locally without involving traditional rulers and clerics? You don't involve traditional rulers and clerics who are there. A new governor that comes that says he knows everything, and the military that knows nothing about Batsari, Sabwa, and all that from Abuja will come and bring peace. We must involve everybody. And if you want to bring peace, this fighting, this bloodshed must stop. And that is the way we want to stop bloodshed. We must sit down and talk. It's not about ego. We must sit down and find peace. And the presidency, the president and commander-in-chief must take full control of this. This governor is saying, I won't do this. That governor is saying, I won't do this. That governor is saying, I won't do this. Mr. President, it is easier and cheaper to get people in communities to make peace with the backing of the military than continuing to fight and spill blood. And it's doable. It's doable. After fighting 10, 12, 18 years, you will come back and sit down and make peace.
And in your prognosis, Prof, how many years do you think it's going to take if the administration decides to apply your reasoning as a form of solution? How long would it take for normalcy to return?
No, it's beginning to. It's sending people here and there and here, but it's not holistic. That's why I'm saying it needs to be global, controlled by the presidency calling the governors and saying this and this and this and this and this are what I want. We've been fighting this for 12 years. Let's try this. We must involve each of the communities and the governors. We need you to support this, the traditional rulers. We need to empower the traditional rulers, because now they sit and watch all these stupid boys pillaging their land. Because
also,
they don't have the power.
A lot of the members of the traditional institutions have been fingered as collaborators, accomplices.
Right. Okay, let me tell you, and I'm not making excuses for anybody. The traditional rulers are left at the mercy of these bad boys. Because there is no military, no police, no state support. They are left there. What do you expect them to do? We're not talking about getting money. If you're talking about collaboration or making money, everybody is in on it. Everybody. From the federal government to the state government, they say they've taken trillions and there is nothing to see. We need to be real and realistic and say what is done is done. We need to sit down. The military is exhausted. We are stretching this military too far. We need to sit down and give this military a break. And the only way we can do it is all of us coming in, traditional rulers, community leaders. And I saw that in our meeting yesterday with local government chairmen from this frontline state, how each and every one of them was able to reconcile local communities. And after that, the federal government and the state government need to come in with traditional rulers and see how we can bring lasting peace, not through the gun or the bomb.
Right. And you talk about how this particular situation is quite prevalent in northern Nigeria and how it is continuing to escalate to a certain extent, depending on where you want to put your spotlight on. But talk to me about the political leadership we're seeing in the north, for instance, because there seems to be this acceptance that the president is doing a good job. When you look at the political narrative, especially from some of the APC folks, right? You did talk about the Niger State governor who has appointed himself as the Director General for the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Most of the states who have been dealing with this insecurity have spoken positively about the administration's handling of the situation. Why do you think there is this contradiction in terms of what the true narrative is?
Right. And I will take the liberty of telling the president they're deceiving you. Because whatever they're telling you is not true. Mr. President went to Katsina and stayed the night. President Muhammad Buhari was from Katsina. He's never stayed the night in Katsina. But yes, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to Katsina and stayed the night. What did he see? What did they put on a billboard? Katsina Babu Korapi. What that means is Katsina no complaint. He stayed the night. What did they do? Oh, he was dancing Omologo, their singer, their praise singer. Dancing Omologo, he was laughing. All was well. Instead of the governor, it's a great opportunity. We have the president in the state to gather people, stakeholders, former security. Because now we've done everything. We have had police officer, we have had IG, we have had the chief of army, we've had this, we've had PAMSEC. Get people around, business people, everybody, stakeholders quietly meet with the president. Take the president to feeding centers. Take the president to some of these areas that have been pillaged by bandits. Let him see our problems. But no, instead they were dancing Omologo. And the same thing happened when he came to Kaduna, this in the north. The same thing happened when he went to Nasarawa, they were dancing Omologo. The same thing happened, of course, Niger State, he's now the chief dancer of Omologo. Mr. President, all it will take is 1-2 days for people to turn against you, and all these governors will follow the people. They are not telling you the truth. There is suffering in the north. People are not happy with you in the north. Security is terrible in the north. There is hunger in the north. Whatever these governors are telling you is not the truth. They are not telling you the truth. Get people to tell you the truth. Okay, and the irritating thing is that you see them dancing Omologo in the north, but you never see them dancing Omologo in the southwest, south, or southeast. The north is where we have problems. We are saying all is well. Oh, the governors are saying all is well with their paid crowd. Mr. President, hear the truth.
What about the Kaduna Summit? I'm sure you were keeping tabs with what happened, I think, 3 weeks ago or thereabout, the Arewa House, where representatives of the administration and people, I believe, who are in the elite in the north were put together to discuss issues around the country, issues developing in the region, and so on and so forth. And the governor of Kaduna State, Senator Wasani, pointed out how, listen, all this complaint about what is wrong with the North today, a lot of it needs to take an introspective turn, where the North holds itself accountable for the gaps in education, for the reasons that led to this high rate of poverty, for the gaps in infrastructure, for the challenges that gave birth to this widespread insecurity instead of blaming a 2-year-old administration led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How much of that message is true, and what do you think about that summit?
This is what he said is what do you expect? What did you expect him to do? There's psychophancy on steroids. And
Some say there's a bit of truth in what he said.
You can say all the truth, but the truth of these 2 years of government, you cannot deny it. In 2 years of government, what we have seen, 62% of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's votes came from the north. 50% of the total thing came from the northwest. And I said it. It is suicidal for any politician to pick an unnecessary fight with his electoral base. And this is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done in the first 2 years. And I'll tell you why. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government has been essentially a Yoruba-centric government.
Even with 55% of his political appointment this year alone going to the north?
Yeah, did you doubt that? We knew it was coming. After he spent the 2 years giving all economic levers of this country, controlled by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Yoruba ethnic group. All. Central Bank, CBN.
I think you mean Nigerians, Prof.
We all know, yeah, Nigerians. Right. Nigerians, we all know that. I mean,
isn't that what matters the most, that they are Nigerians, not Yorubas?
So, look, and that is why you have federal character. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, go look at section 14.3 and 14.4. Essentially says the character of the federal government, or in all its appointment and what it does, must reflect the federal character, essentially so that everybody will see. So it was the same crowd that was saying Fulanization, Islamization during Buhari. Nobody can deny the fact that the levels of the economy of this country is controlled by Yorubas, all from the southwest. You cannot, yes, they are Nigerians. So what? If I put people from Katsina, they are all from Katsina. And I said it, this is the most reckless president I've seen, because it's outright recklessness and violating the Constitution. Blatantly too. We are running a constitutional democracy. The president is doing whatever he likes. But you are given over 70%, and I expected that he would be throwing crumbs at people from all other part of the country. And I said, the levels of the economy are controlled by his ethnic group, number one. Number two, and the running of the economy of this president is opaque. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. He's not accounted for what has been saved from fuel subsidy removal. Nobody knows what is accruing into the NNPC, into customs, into FIRS, into the blue economy, where he's put all his kinsmen. We don't know. Come on, this country is not his. This country is not Yorubas or Southwest. This country is our country. All 300 million of us are equal stakeholders in this country. Equal stakeholders. So this is not acceptable. And I said it, and it's dangerous.
55%, Prof, this year alone.
Look, we are not
55%
Abdullah,
going to the north.
Abdullah, we're very educated. We've been to school and more. They know that. So don't give us this. This is plain to see. Ask all the ministers now who is getting any allocation. The money is being held by the Minister of Finance. Nobody knows what they are doing. It's opaque. So don't give us some crumbs and say, oh yeah, we've given more. No. This is outright recklessness, and I have said it, this is an existential threat to Nigeria's national security and its unity and cohesion as a nation, if you continue to do this. So don't give us crumbs and say, oh yeah, we've given Southeast, we've given the North, we've given this. Need to be very careful. You're not listening. Whoever is doing this is outright recklessness and violation of the Constitution. Who are the people that should be checkmating him? Our guys in the National Assembly, our representatives. What are they doing? They're also dancing, singing, on your mandate we stand, after getting alerts. So people are not represented. And the presidency is disconnected from realities of our people. Say, oh, there's no hunger, security is fine. Oh, we're at 55% today is... Abdullah, we've been to school. We can see. We know there is hunger. We know security is not where it should be. They are telling the president differently. The president's government is Yoruba-centric, violating section 14.3 and 4 of the Nigerian Constitution. Somebody should tell the president the truth. I don't know who.
And Prof, is it fair to say that your mind is close to the possibility of seeing any positives from the Tinubu administration? Because it does look like you don't think he has made a single good decision since he's come.
We have a record, a 2-year record that we are interrogating. I'm not looking at anything. You tell me, is there anything I'm saying that is wrong? I'm from Katsina. Can somebody come to Katsina and tell me security is better? Can somebody come to Katsina and tell me there's no hunger? When 652 children died from severe malnutrition.
But if you consider everything, the positives and the negatives, would you provide anything that looks like a positive or silver lining, to say the least, that inspires hope that the Tinubu administration could turn a corner?
No, you remember they came renewed hope? And I said, all we've done, all Nigerians have seen, all across this country, from Abia to Zamfara, is hopelessness. This is the truth. Go ask the labor unions, go ask the lecturers, go ask parents, go ask market women, go ask people that are bearing the brunt of bandits and Boko Haram. Let us not deceive ourselves. The more the president hears the truth and his people hear the truth, the more they know all is not well. Let us not just say, oh, I give 50%, oh yeah, security here is better. No, all is not well, Mr. President. The ship of state is adrift, and you don't seem to be in charge. They're not telling you the truth.
If the by-elections that were recently conducted was an opportunity for Nigerians to give their verdict on the leadership of the APC administration, some would say the APC has done well, given that they have come out on top in most of the elections, for the by-elections in the state, National Assembly and rerun elections. I mean, wouldn't you say that that is something?
I'm sure, Abdullah, you did not bring me here to annoy me. You know what?
I mean, that's a fair question to ask, right?
You did not bring me here to annoy me. Let's ask, they know themselves. They know themselves that those weren't elections. They were just a sham and a violation of the rights of the people. And this is what this government is planning. 2027 to rig this election. And God help them, we are ready. We put them on notice, we're not going to allow any of these shenanigans. They can test run their whatever they want to do and say, oh, we've won this, we've won this. I do not see anybody in the place I come with the amount of hunger and insecurity that they will come and tell us, vote for them. Why? Or send any of their Muslim clerics to come and tell us. Or send any of their annoying singers to come and sing to people. Or send their whatever, 500 naira and Indomie. Governance is real. Our people are suffering. But these politicians are taking it as a joke. They are dancing when people are dying. And they think, oh, we get this, we get this, we get this. All they are interested. And this is what is irritating people in the north. I mean, in the face of all these, our sufferings, the hunger, excruciating poverty, insecurity, the president, all he's fixated on is 2027. Instead of fixing the mess that his current policies have caused and how he's going to make things differently, he is hell-bent, fixated on winning the 2027 election. You are given a 4-year term. Just 2 years? And that is why 2 years to 2027, he's beginning to rattle the political cage, which is deliberate. Anybody that knows this politics, this is deliberate. And it just shows that APC is panicking. This is pure panic because they're smelling defeat in the polls in 2027. Number one. Number two, they are also doing this to distract the attention of people from their daily realities. What are their daily realities? What we've seen in Ginamantau and Malnutrition. Terrorists, killing our people, hunger, insecurity, children don't go to school, the wages are no more worthy of anything. They want to distract us from the abysmal stewardship of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Nigeria. Fourthly is that they are rattling the cage, what they call scare the duck, so that they want to see who is coming, which of the politicians is coming, which of the parties are we going to destabilize again, and who are we going to send government gestapos after. This is essentially what they are doing. But fellow Nigerians, do not be deceived. This government is panicking. APC is panicking. 2 years to 2027 election. Instead of fixing the mess they have done, they are talking about 2027. Our people are dying. Our people are hungry. Children do not go to school. Our wages are worthless. Professors cannot feed their families in universities. Right. What manner of leaders do we have?
All right, and we're completely out of time, but I need to ask you this question. Are you still non-aligned, politically speaking?
What do you mean?
Non-aligned. I mean, obviously there are different sides. There's the ADC camp, there's the PDP side.
Look, I am for the truth. And the time will come when we'll get this government out. Bi'iznillah.
When you say we, who are you talking about?
Nigerians.
PDP?
No, Nigerians. Okay. We're going to mobilize Nigerians and show them the data. We're not going to tell lies. You have what you've done over the years for us to interrogate and show our people, just like we are interrogating your 2-year tenure that has been nothing but a disaster to this country. People are suffering. Hopelessness and deceit. Every day you're telling us one story after the other. All is not well, Mr. President. There is hunger in the land. Insecurity is gone out of control. And people are very, very angry. Hear us.
Welcome to Jammer's News TV.